Ask Reddit, where did you lose your virginity? I remember the day well, 23 years later. It was February 17th of the year 2000. My friend told me that her mom was out and we could bang if I came over right away. It was like 9:20 at night and I said, fuck it. I told my dad that my friend had a computer issue and I needed to help her real quick so she could finish an assignment and ran out while he was still grumbling. I get to her place and she points to her couch and says, we'll do it there. The thing about her place was, her mom was a hoarder, so there were books and trinkets stacked everywhere. In retrospect, their place was filthy, but 17-year-old me had a fuck to give and I was going to deliver. My friend lays down and pulls up her dress and tells me to drop my pants and hands me a condom. So there I am, fumbling to roll on a condom in the middle of her dark living room when I look over and notice her cat staring at me. I don't even care. That cat could judge my little dong all it wanted. I was about to plow her human. I get the condom on, waddle over to her because who actually takes their pants off? I begin to lay on top of her when she tells me to pause for a moment while she puts on some music. So there I was on my friend's couch, losing my virginity while listening to garbage with her cat watching. Best 37 seconds of my life. We finish up. Well, I finished up. And I apologized, and she says something along the lines of her not expecting much given it's my first time. I went back home and hoped no one would realize that I had just had sex. I went back to her place the next day, and when she opened the door, I said, we need to do it again, but better. She just stepped to the side to let me in, and we banged it out on that sofa again. This time for something like 20 minutes. We fucked whenever I was single for years. I honestly should have married that girl. She was an amazing friend, and we both low-key loved each other beyond a friendship. Megan, if you're on Reddit reading this, thanks for always being such a good friend, and I'm sorry I sucked as a friend at end when you were moving away. With my ex in a movie theater during a showing of Unaccompanied Minors, I was back home from college and she was able to convince her foster parents she was going to see a movie with her friend. It was the first time I ever went down on a girl, and her reaction solidified my love of giving oral. My first actual BJ was a month later at my work-study job from a girl I had just met 30 minutes before we hooked up. Yes, I was still with the ex from my hometown at the time. I wasn't a good person back then. Mine, her mom's bed. Meh. Taken virginities, her car. High school, dumb, her bed. Just out of high school, girlfriend was a year younger in high school. Girlfriend and I had a three-way thing going because she had a thing for her friend. Definitely took her friends. Maybe hers. Dunno. Her bed, adult lesbian for as long as I've known her, but I think was exploring it because she was into me emotionally. Happened once and never again, though we would still kiss and go to bed naked and cuddle. Her bed, too complicated a situation to bother typing. Her, hotel bed, business trip. As someone who was incredibly romantic when he was younger before being disillusioned, virginity and losing it is way too hyped. You should be responsible about it, and maybe that's why the mythology persists so long even among parents who know better. But it definitely won't be special except for the fact you lost it in 99.99% of cases. I think romanticizing it does more harm than good. You hype something up for all of their pubescent, sex-driven lives, only for it to be mediocre. Even if they make the situation romantic, the sex is may, and it'll almost never lead to something permanent. It should really be redefined so people don't feel bogged down by the emotional aspect or feel let down in the long run, but instead treat sex respectfully, and consequently their partners respectfully. But this is coming from an American, where we treat sexuality with relatively Puritan standards. Partying in a field in high school. We saw lights from a cop car, so we ran deeper into the woods. Being a smart young man, I brought my 100 proof hot damn with me. As we lay there taking rips off the bottle, we decided to get after it. The next day, we both found out that our love nest was actually poison oak. It was everywhere. I may have used one as a condom, it was so bad. She didn't go to school for weeks. It was extremely romantic and memorable. My girlfriend's room. But I had to climb up the outside of the house to the second floor, crawl across the roof, and hop through a window. Then I had to sit in the corner of her closet for a few hours while she was acting normal doing things with her family. No, I was not supposed to be there, and no, they didn't know I was. We stayed together all night, and then I had to sneak out in the wee hours of the morning. We did that multiple times after this. Can't believe we were never found out. But we're married now, and her parents found out a while back. Luckily, all I got was some head shaking and disappointment. They didn't find out till like 12 years and 2 kids later. Oh boy, here we go. I was studying my master's and 23 years old at the time and used to work at McDonald's part-time doing night shifts on Friday and Saturday. Sunday comes around and I wake up at 2 p.m., roll some weed, and go out to the park to smoke. I'm about halfway through my J when this 30-yo woman sits next to me. She looks at me and tells me it's been 3 weeks since she's had sex. I asked her to repeat because at that point I've never had any interest shown by a woman. I ask her why it's been so long, and she proceeds to tell me how she broke up with her ex. I'm like, okay. She asks me where I live, and then it hits me what she was trying to say. I get all excited and happy and proceed to walk her to my place, and we do the deed. But I couldn't get that hard, so we only fucked for a little bit. After which, she proceeds to tell me that she really needs 20 for a cab home. I give her the money, and she leaves. After 30 minutes, I realize what has happened. I paid for sex for my first time. Woman whose name I never even asked, if you're reading this, thanks for showing interest. It boosted my confidence for the whole 30 minutes it took me to realize what had happened. My other half likes to bring up this story a lot, along with another story of me getting arrested because of a misunderstanding. I had broken up with my ex that morning and went to buy alcohol because I was so sad and drank some beers and had to pee whilst in the park. I got pee-shy and pulled my phone out to scroll through Reddit. Someone must have seen me with my dick out and with my phone in my hand. I was walking after I peed, and when I turned around, I saw someone charging at me full speed. So I ran as fast as I could to lose this guy, going in and out of traffic to avoid him, and when I looked back, I saw him on the phone and thought it was the police. So I keep running, and a police car just magically pops out of nowhere, and 4 guys come out telling me not to run and to turn around. I get cuffed and put inside the police car. And they ask me if I know what's going on. I'm like, WTF, LOL, someone is running after me and I had to run. They proceed to tell me that someone reported me for taking pictures and masturbating outside. Like, what the actual fuck? So I unlocked my phone and showed them that I had nothing on my phone. Then they just let me go without saying anything. Not even an apology, haha. So yeah, don't pee in parks. And do not take out your phone for whatever reason whilst peeing. In the vagina of a beautiful prostitute in the Neustadt at Groningen, me being high as a kite on a shitload of amphetamine, coke, XTC, and cannabis, and awake for a week at that particular moment, now almost 20 years ago. I paid for 20 minutes, she was very understanding, but I wasn't able to come, so it took about 45 minutes before we called it a day, and we showered together afterwards. BTW, the lady came multiple times, over and over. She was completely exhausted, but I wasn't. So I hopped back in my car and raced back home and came back to her the next day for another ride, which was fun too.